Welcome to Breaking Fears.
Hey YouTube world, it's your man Rico again with another video. Trying to keep them coming. So in this video, it's about, as you saw in the title, it's do not let bad fear stop you. So again, if you look at my earlier videos, I did explain what I mean by good fears and bad fears, and I'll do it real quick again. Bad fears are those that stop you from achieving the things you want to do in life, the good things you want to do in life. Good fears are those that stop you from doing bad things in life. So, for instance, a good fear. Somebody wants to go and, oh, I could take this piece of candy from the store, and they'll never know that I took it. And as you're walking out, you get caught, and now you got a record, a theft on your record because you stole a piece of candy. Where your good fear was telling you, don't do it, because if you do it and you get caught, you're in trouble. Another example, you see this attractive person. I was going to say woman because I'm a man, but you see this attractive person, and you want to get with them, and you end up getting with them because of their looks, only because of their looks, and you stay with them only because their looks. But your good fear is telling you don't bother with them. They're it's a physical thing. It's not going to work out, and you get with them and you stay with them for a while. And you're like, you finally break up, and you're like, man, I don't know why I got with that person. You should have listened to your good fear. So the bad fear would be you get with examples. You get with a individual. They might not be the hottest looking person. They might not be the movie star type person that you want to be with, meaning everything like their personality, everything like that you would see on TV. But they're fun to be around. They are good looking. They're intelligent. You know, they fit all the checks in your box. But your bad fear, or I'm sorry, your bad fear is saying, "Hey, I wouldn't go with her because your friends might say, hey, they're not that attractive, or they're not this, or they're not that," and then you end up not dating them. And then a couple years later, you find out that they're in a relationship, they're doing great, and you have never met anybody like them in your entire life. That's a bad fear. It just blocked you from a good person and ended up being in a good relationship. Now, the bad fear, you get a check and out of the blue, and you're like, "Whoa, I got all this money. What am I going to do with it?" And you need a car. You decide, maybe I better not buy a car yet. Maybe I should put it in the bank and say in a savings account and save. But in the meanwhile, you have no car. That was a bad fear. The bad fear stopped you from getting a car in order to get a better job, in order to do things, whatever it may be. That means of transportation that you needed was blocked because of a bad fear. So again, this video is about this. I was watching another YouTuber, and I'm about to show you the clip of him, where he elaborates a little bit about this as well. A lot of people go through life living in fear, and I've stated this in my previous, uh, in a couple of older videos. We go through life living in fear, stopping us from going on a vacation, stopping us from buying a car that we need, a home that we want to buy. I should have used that for an example, and I will. Bad fear for buying a home. I've got my real estate license. I went to get my real estate license so I could help those like myself that when I was younger wasn't educated on real estate. So I went to get my license to help individuals, educate them on the process of buying a home, what to look for when you're buying a home, all that stuff. And a lot of people I was showing the home, and they're like, "Oh, this is a lot of responsibility. I don't think I can. No, I'd rather just rent." And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, "Okay, you're willing to rent a home. You still have to pay rent. You still have to pay for the utilities. Now, maybe you don't have to pay for the repairs, but all the money that you're throwing away renting, and it's not your home, and you can't do a lot of stuff in it because of the rules and regulations on your lease." I'm like, what's stopping you? It's that bad fear. It's the fear of commitment of buying something that's going to benefit you. I mean, they can end up buying a house at $50,000, and all of a sudden they're in there for 5 years. That area just skyrockets, and the value now of your home is $100,000. You sell it, you could have made $50,000 off that house, but you let your bad fear convince you that you do not want to take care of the house. It's too much responsibility. It's too much that you have to worry about. Bad fear. That's another good example of a bad fear. So again, this video is about bad fears stopping you from doing what you want in life. Let me get onto the gentleman's YouTube channel so you could see exactly what I'm talking about as well, but not from me, but from somebody else's perspective. So here we are. This gentleman's name is Timothy Ward, and that is also his YouTube channel name, Timothy Ward. I'll put it up here. So the video that I was watching that I ran across was, or as you can see here, "I refuse to live in fear." I mean, that was just perfect. When I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to show my YouTube followers this, because I know not everybody can see everybody's YouTube. And I always will, whenever I do this, tell the person's YouTube channel and what the video is. Again, Timothy Ward, if you want to go and watch some of his YouTube stuff, but it's basically about his life. So let's get started with his video. "I refuse to live in fear."
And today was no different than a lot of days. I get a lot of comments, a lot of direct messages, even sometimes people I talk to in real life when they find out kind of what I do with my life. I get a lot of like cautionary comments and conversations. A lot of cautionary comments and conversations, and people are like, "Hey, just be safe out there. The world is crazy. Just be careful out there. Stay safe." Or people are like, "Hey man, when you out on them trails, just make sure you got your bear spray and you take a gun and you got all this other stuff." Man, I done seen all kinds of videos of wildlife jumping on people. It's crazy out there. And it's just different varieties of like of the conversation varies depending on what aspect of like my life causes them the most concern. Okay, but pretty much everything I do. Or another big one.
So I want to kind of point out what he's saying here. And I know everybody's heard this. This isn't nothing new. I mean, what I'm talking about and what you're seeing here, there's nothing new. We've all heard it, but we tend to forget about it. We tend to see something like this, go, "Wow, yeah, he's right. I never thought about that." Yes, you have. You've thought about this. You just refuse to remember and refuse to act on it. Lessons learned in life. That's why I keep pointing out lessons learned in life. You got to remember them, because that's what's going to also help you propel through life. So what I was going to say is, we hear everybody always say this. I've heard it. I mean, I used to go to downtown Chicago on the west side, south side. And I used to date women on the west side and the south side. So people that I knew, because I lived in the suburbs, a lot of people would say, "Oh, be careful out there. It's dangerous. That's some dangerous areas. I wouldn't go out there if I was you. If you date women out there, they're no good. Blah 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 this, blah 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 that." One of my things first I have to say is, how do you know if you never got out of your box? And that's another topic I'm going to talk about. But you can't tell me what to fear and what to do if you've never done it. Because Again, that's a bad fear. And now you're trying to, like he said, project your bad fear onto me to stop me from finding or learning about something. Now, when you do go in those areas, use your good fear. Your good fear is going to say, hey, if I was you, I wouldn't do this. Hey, if I was you, I wouldn't turn down that street. Hey, if I was you. Your good fear will guide you right. Don't be a fool. Listen to your good fear and do not listen to your bad fear. Let's continue.
Hey, just be careful. You look like you're out there having fun, and you're making that YouTube money, but just be careful that YouTube money can go away. You'll be broke. There's always, and I just want to say real quick, I appreciate the concern. I appreciate the concern because it's good to know that people are worried about you. So I appreciate the concern. However, I think a lot of times it goes like beyond simple concern, and I can feel like the people who are having these conversations and sending me these messages, I can feel like them projecting their fears onto me.
I'm sorry, I said that a little earlier because I watched this video already. But yeah, like I had stated, is people projecting their bad fears onto you to block you from doing something. If it was a good fear, you'd know it right away because they would say, hey, I did this. And they'll tell you about the story to help you really make a good judgment on doing something. And your good fear or bad fear will let you know.
I can feel them projecting their fear onto me. And so that's why sometimes I'll respond. In person, I might say, hey, yeah, I get it, man. I'm always careful. I'm always careful. But I'm going to do what I want to do. Or in the comments, I might be like, hey, thanks for the concern, but I refuse to live in fear. And that's the thing. Do I have fears? Yes. Do I have concerns? Yes. Do I keep my head on a swivel, and watch my six at all times? Yes.
So that's what I say by, like you said, does he keep his head on a swivel? Does he always watch his six? That's what I mean by that good fear. Your good fear is going to have you keep an eye out if you're in a bad situation because it's going to protect you in a way. Like if you decide to go against that good fear and you go and do something that you shouldn't be doing, but your good fear is like saying, hey, maybe you should like step back from this. And you're looking around, it's going to let you know. Even if you're following it because your bad fear is telling you it's trying to block you from something. If there's something that will be harmful to you, your good fear is still going to be there to help you by keeping you looking over your shoulder.
I refuse to live in fear, and I refuse to let the fear stop me from living my life, because if I let the fear stop me from living my life, like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I let the fear stop me from living my life, why am I even on this planet? What am I doing here?
So I'm not going to watch the whole video. I just want to show that small snippet because what he's saying here, like I said, everybody heard it. Everybody knows it. And it's true. What are you doing here? Are you going to lock yourself in your house and not go anywhere or do anything? I don't think so. Don't let that fear do that to you. Friday's video is going to be about getting out of your box and living your life. This would be a great intro to that one, because if you're going to live in fear, you're living in a box. You're not going to go traveling anything. You're not going to learn new things. You can't let that bad fear stop you. You can't. Because otherwise, like he says, what are you doing here? What's the purpose? People are going to say, oh, don't go to school because you're wasting your money. Well, what if your job requires you to have that degree? You got to go to school. You're letting that bad fear block you from something that really, truly is going to be beneficial from you. That person is a bad person to be dating. Oh, I don't know why you're with them. It could be that person's jealousy kind of putting their bad fear on you. And now you've got this bad fear and you might let that good person go because of some body told you because of maybe bad experience, bad taste in their mouth about something. Now it just ruined your good thing and made you afraid of it, bad fear of proceeding with it. I hope this video kind of puts a little thought in your head, especially about bad fears and good fears and the difference that I say there are. I truly believe that there are two types of fear, and that's the bad fear and the good fear. Don't let those bad fears stop you, and heed to the good fears. Listen to those good fears that are preventing you from something that can bad happen to you. Okay, and with all that being said, I do want to say thank you for watching. Click that like button or dislike, whichever you want to do. But the main thing that I really that's important to me are comments. So I can continue to know that I'm helping you out. For those that are trolling, for those that are just trying to put those bad fears out there, it's not going to affect me. I'm going to keep going. But for those with good comments, even if some people think it's a negative, but it's a good comment for me to improve, I will be listening. So again, leave those comments. I love them. I love to hear them. I love to read them. And with all this being said, I would like to say again, thank you for watching. And until our next video, see ya.